I'm RC with Outdoor Gold, and today on Mountain Biking Gold, we'll test ride and review the Yeti SB150 Turk in the vaunted Outdoor Gold Enduro, a baptism by fire coming right up. This ride and footage is brought to you in partnership with Ruby Canyon Cycles in Grand Junction, Colorado. Ruby Canyon is the only Yeti cycles and specialized dealer in the Grand Valley, and if you're planning to ride in Fruita or Western Colorado in general, be sure to visit my friends at Ruby Canyon Cycles at 3rd and Main. Links to their website in the description. Introducing the Yeti SB150, a gem of a long travel 29er from the Colorado-based Prodigy. Spec'd with 170 millimeters of front travel, 150 millimeters of rear, this bike isn't messing around. And honestly, it's a lot of bike. Not to mention the 150 has a very aggressive geometry with a slack 64.5 degree head tube angle and a roughly 77 degree seat tube on a large frame. And by the way, some of this varies depending on frame size. You're going to get a 1248 millimeter wheelbase, yada yada yada. Geo links are in the description. All you need to know is that this monster is ready for your gnarliest trails. But this bike here is custom built by Ruby Canyon and is spec'd with many great components. But I'm going to try to hold true to this being a bike specific review and not so much the components. There are a lot of great components on this thing, so I'm just going to shed some light on those before we get into it. It's going to include a Fox Factory 36 with the impressive Grip 2 damper, a highly adjustable Fox Float X2, Roval Traverse carbon hoops on Maxxis tires, Strand Eagle X01 drivetrain that includes carbon cranks, and the classic 12 gear cassette. Finally, we'll also be equipped with the dependable Shimano XT quad piston brakes. Aesthetically, there are some changes to the new Yeti models. Most notably, the water bottle cage mount now resides in the front triangle, unlike the previous models that incorporated the underslung design. Also, you notice the new brake and shifting cable guides that help prevent mechanics from embarking on time-consuming and sometimes expensive fishing expeditions, while also reducing noisy cable rattle. The suspension design has also been updated. With the new location of the water bottle cage mount, the rear shock resides higher on the frame and is connected to a shock extension with the newly designed version of the old Dogbone link on this model. There are no changes to the switch Infinity link on the Yeti SB150. Now it's time to take the Yeti SB150 on the ultimate test known as the Outdoor Gold Enduro. I've custom tailored this exam with terrain that might be found on your local trails. It includes flowy dirt, technical climbs, savage rock gardens, and smashy drops. The goal is to put the 150 through the ringer in a short period, which I'll be riding it. Our sample will begin at 18 Road, which sports fast and flowy dirt downhills. Next, we'll be visiting more fun, slow speed tech, and finally we'll end at Free Lunch, the epitome of an enduro trail. Introducing Stage 1, the North Fruita Desert Trails, known as 18 Road. So we're at 18 Road, and these trails are all about being fast and being flowy. So we're gonna check and see how fast this thing could go before we take it to some really chunky, nasty stuff. So let's get to it. Here we'll be riding a beginner trail known as Pumps, Bumps, and Rollers, and we'll finish at the intermediate Joe's Ridge. All right, we're going downhill on this thing, and I can tell you right now, it's fast. Wow, this bike is fast. Holy crap. Dang, that thing is nice. My observations in the North Fruita Desert on this bike goes as follows. It's fast, it's stable, it's confidence inspiring. This thing absolutely crushed the climbs, held incredible control at speed, silenced the brake bumps, and cornered very well in areas with flat turns and berms. I thought I was on a smaller bike, even though it was huge. Much of this could be attributed to the long wheelbase, suspension design, and slack geometry. Overall, I was quite impressed, but honestly, this is too much bike for terrain like this, and smaller travel models kind of make more sense in areas such as 18 Road. The SB150 passed the flow test with flying colors, and it was fun. Finally, it doesn't take long to notice the benefits of the stiff Turk frame combined with the carbon Roval Traverse hoops, especially when you lay into those tight turns. Overall, the 150 is extremely responsive, and there's not much wasted energy. So a lot of bikes can pass the test at 18 road because 18 road is just fun. But we're gonna take it on some really nasty stuff out here at Kokopelli, and more specifically, the More Fun Trail. Let's get into it. On to stage 2 of our test, More Fun. One of the most difficult trails north of the 38th parallel in Colorado. This gnarly trail is just as hard to ride up as it is to descend. We're going to give the SB100 a hell of a climb and descent in this one. I wonder whose idea it was to ride More Fun. Could have been mine. Trail requires a lot of quick thinking. Did the Yeti SB150 live up to Fruita's nastiest trail? The answer to me is yes. These climbs are hard and usually above the skill level of a lot of riders. But what did I find in this bike here? Number one, the climbing was immaculate. The 29-inch wheels and pedaling efficiency combined defied that slack head tube angle. A testament to the industry standards for what a modern 29er is truly capable of. These technical climbs were steep, yet I never really found myself picking up the front tire, and I just rolled over everything. Some of this could be attributed to the 77-degree C-tube angle, and the design was very supportive. I found patience to pay off with the difficult 90-degree turns, and that this platform really bought time to maneuver the bike. On the downhill More Fun, the 150 mastered the slow speed chunk and sharp rocks that were masked behind the GoPro effect. This bike offers a lot of forgiveness and doesn't get hung up easily if a rider holds on to good body position. It can really handle any line you throw at it. On the other end, I found casual riding through tight corners to be quite the challenge, especially for riders who have a limited skill set. At times I felt like I was pulling a tractor trailer of a rear tire and really struggled through those tight corners. Like 18 road, More Fun could be ridden with bikes that fall in the mid-travel category, while the long travel suspension design could still be overkill on a single track like More Fun, where skill is going to win the day every time. But we have a final test, stage 3, free lunch. The Yeti SB150 is an enduro bike. It's supposed to get fast. It's supposed to get rowdy. It's supposed to handle big lines. So how does it fare on the drops? This is what this bike was made for. Free lunch is anything but free, and many riders tragically pay the price at the rite of passage. This heinous single track is known for the perfect ratio of straight line chunk against large drops, and it's perhaps the most true to form enduro trail in Grand Junction. All right, we're on free lunch. This bike was totally made for this trail. Oh man, and it really is. Free lunch, this bike absolutely blew me away. This is what this thing was made for, and it doesn't take long to figure out why. It handles drops comfortably, absolutely blows through the sharp rocks and chunks at speed. Again, the suspension design and linkage are going to shine here with the pedaling efficiency to hold that set speed. Lastly, on free lunch, I noticed the benefits of the progressive geometry, low and slack really add to the incredible downhill feel of this bike. More so here than anywhere else. As we wrap up the Outdoor Gold Enduro Gauntlet, let's talk about what really stood out to me. This bike and build was extraordinarily fast. stable, and exceptional under speed. Not to mention Yeti's reputation of excellence and pedaling efficiency in combination with speed really stands out with the 150. This bike easily surpasses the limits of most riders, including myself. I found the climbing to be insanely efficient and stable and full open. There's nothing sluggish, and not once did I feel like the front tire was picking up unintentionally on a climb. For me, the new location of the water bottle cage mount is a fan service and one that I could get on board with. And the new internal routing is a godsend for professional and at-home mechanics alike. I love slack and load 29ers, and add in the progressive geometry with the Switch Infinity Link. It's really hard for me to rag on this bike. They really knocked it out of the park. Additionally, with these new models, Yeti replaced the 5-year warranty with a lifetime warranty. But let's talk about some things that I maybe didn't fancy about this bike. Now let's put a little context around it. But let me make one thing clear. Every bike ever designed, ever manufactured is a culmination of compromises and trade-offs. This could be the bike for you, and your decision should be made on factors such as your preferences, your local trails, your riding goals, your personal skill level, and your bankroll. Number 1, I found this bike to be quite difficult to handle in really tight corners. The long wheelbase in combination with the 29-inch tires made slow speed handling in said corners quite difficult, and something that is going to work into the bag of tricks and wheelhouse of expert riders. Either way, these issues can be remedied with trials moves and endo turns to reposition the bike into that optimal angle. Next, let's chat about the elephant in the room, the location of the down tube relevant to the bottom bracket. I didn't force myself into any situation where this could be a problem, but if you exercise poor technique and you exercise poor judgment on small step-ups or slow drops, you're going to smack the down tube. But consider this, I've been riding with an underslung water bottle cage mount for quite a while, which essentially sticks out further than the down tube on my Yeti SB6 model. If I smack the water bottle cage on the SB6, it was usually a result from poor riding. But the difference here is if you smack the down tube, usually it's going to have higher consequences. At the end of the day, I personally don't think it's a big deal. So who is this bike for? Well, it's geared for enduro racers, and the Yeti reputation is based on racing. Believe me, it fits that bill. For the everyday mountain biker, this is really going to be too much bike on most trails unless they spend multiple days at the bike park or have really fast and gnarly local trails. But who else? Well, I also think intermediate riders, people who want to progress, should ride the 150. Progressing as a better rider is dependent on the accumulation of moral victories and limit-breaking moments. The 150 makes all that happen with aggressive geometry, efficient climbing, long travel. This bike can really do it all except ride itself. In essence, these specifications will override a number of rider errors and really tame the trail. But riders who've arrived in a strong intermediate to black diamond niche could definitely benefit from riding the 150, but might be better served with a collection of other short to mid travel bikes that include the Yeti SB100 and 130. Finally, let's not forget about the price point, which is going to be out of reach for a lot of bankrolls in the mountain biking community. However, it is what it is. I know from experience that Yeti delivers race performance, and in fact, they do stand behind their product. Keep this in mind, you're going to get what you pay for, and this bike delivers the goods and then some. Yeti's lineups have a track record of producing fast times and are ridden by some of the best in the world. Let's put all the chips on the table. Would I buy this bike? I would, but I don't feel like the 150 is the quiver killer, and it wouldn't be the only bike in my stable. I actually love this build, and it's in the discussion as one of the best bikes I've ever ridden. It complements many of my local trails very well, which are fast, really gnarly, and require a lot of pedaling. Not to mention the 150 would be a really good bike to take on blind trails you've never ridden before, since it quietly erases a multitude of mistakes and is very forgiving. This steed can do it all. But on casual rides, I personally would like a more lively bike like an SB100. But the reality is this, the 150 is a solid premium starting bike in your mountain bike lineup. If push comes to shove, you could really lean on the 150 to be your do-it-all bike. It could still be a bike that you can ride on any trail because it's so capable. This is Mountain Biking Gold, and I'm definitely down with the Yeti SB150. If you like what you saw, let me know you're out there. Hit that like button, subscribe, tap that notification bell so you don't miss any mountain biking. Finally, let me know in the comments what you like or not like about the Yeti SB150. I'd be curious to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Do me a favor, have a great day, and we'll catch you on down the road.